I did write a few words, and it's not scary, it's really big print, but I'll use this as my podium. But I do want to thank the union for putting this on. You know, we just have staff that puts us on every year, and they're not professional caterers, but they put on a great spread here, and we always look forward to that. And of course, they're teachers, and teachers can do anything, so I really want to thank you for doing this for all of us that are retiring, but you've been doing this for 30 years already, and thank you. And I also want to thank the administration and the staff for always supporting all the crazy ideas that I had and the disruptions, and kind of all went for it. And I know you thought, oh gosh, what is she doing now? She said La La Land, you know, right, Paula? She'd always say, "Are you in La La Land?" And I go, "Yeah, I was." You know, but you didn't tar and feather me. You let me, okay, let her do this next project. Over the 34 and a half years that I've been teaching, I've been privileged to work in 4 school districts. I first started in a little town, Maynard, Minnesota, 30 miles south of Wilmer, and I got laid off the first year. But luckily, Moavic had a FIAD and health opening, and Kurt and I got married that summer, so it was perfect. And I loved my years in Moavic. I had the best co-workers, especially in our PE department. I had Roger Lucari and Dan Sarla, and we taught square dance together. I'm sure still some of the Moavic kids remember the square dancing, but I still use Roger's cadence for dismissing class. This is my prop. It goes like this. It's no, they know when class is over, so I don't know if Roger's here, but I wanted to make sure that he know that I still use that. Those 2 men taught me a lot about discipline, how to treat kids, and how to coach. And I also coached with basketball with Paula today. Can you imagine her and I coaching girls basketball? We didn't last very long, but we had a lot of fun. And then I also coached with her husband, Terry. We coached volleyball, and with Dick Lundeen, I coached volleyball. We had good teams, but one of the best memories I have is the District 27 championship. And we were upstairs, you know how the Moavic, it was in Moavic, and we were upstairs, the locker rooms were downstairs, we were up the stairs in the hallway. One of the girls couldn't get a ring on, couldn't play with any jewelry. So Dick is, putting soap on it and going, "Geez, Rita, are you pregnant?" Kidding around. She goes, "Yes, I am." You remember that, don't you? And I was pregnant with Kyle at the time, and I go, "Oh, so am I." Kind of like the moment when we both had baby boys in the spring, So. And another funny story I can remember. I treasured this story. It was early in my teaching of Moavic. It was actually Dick Lundeen told me this story, so I would know that I got to be careful what I tell kids. And one of my, I told my 5th grade girls when they're in the locker room, I go, if you have, I told them about swimming excuses, and I said, just tell me if you have your period and you'll miss swimming. I didn't think anything of it. And so one of my 5th grade girls didn't know what a period was, so she went home and she was telling her mother, "Mom, I really need a period, or I'm in trouble." So that was, I don't know, kind of a cute story. So I am more careful that I make sure they know what a period is. But big things were happening in Moavic. We had the Giants Ridge Training Center was coming in, and that Moavic was kind of booming there for a while, and the Governor Rudy Perpich and Lola came to town, and we had the parade. We were a close group, and I know I'm one of the few. I know Nancy Smolich is one of the last ones, and Carrie Hill, we're the last ones that really started in Moavic, and then when we consolidated, we came over here. But we were a really close group, and we had bonded together, so it's nice to see so many of them here. And then in the late 80s came the consolidation, and that first year I got laid off with many Moavic teachers, so it was really a sad time for us. Kurt got laid off from the mines at St. Mary's. It's like, oh, what are we going to do? And so it was scary, but later in that fall, Virginia had an opening for a part-time FIAD in health, so I worked over there part-time, and then the following year I had a part-time position over here. I taught biology. I had a biology minor, and then health, and our biology department was Tom Klobachek, We had Howard Heath, Ron Pinckney, Jordan Mole. Remember Jordan Mole cooking those carcasses? And it just stunk in there. And then we had the newcomers. We had Jeremy Fleming, and Craig Johnson was just starting out. That's when he was nice to me. But cute story about biology class. Ron Pinckney, it was his first year teaching biology too, so I thought, well, I'm going to sneak into his class while they're dissecting these frogs. And I don't know anything about these, I don't remember. So he's telling the kids, this is stomach, this is liver. I go, Ron, isn't that the liver? And that, oh yeah, he didn't know either, so. We still chuckle about, that, oh, don't tell anybody, I didn't know the difference. Marty Scala was our principal, and I was more afraid to go in his office, and the kids were. If you did get called into his office, you did something wrong, or he convinced you that you did something wrong, so you didn't want to go in there very often. But then most of my teaching, Jorma Rockala was our principal, and Jorma pretty much gave me free rein. I could do whatever I wanted to do, so Mr. Erie, when you said no to some of the things, I was kind of shocked, but see, I'm married to 100% Finlander, Kurt, so when Jorma came along, he was a piece of cake. I couldn't so it was good. And over the years, some of the most enjoyable sports teams, they made a volleyball pot, that was kind of cool. It was volleyball. We had some great teams in the 90s and the early 2000s, and we started JOs. And at that time, it was a dirty word. You weren't supposed to spend time on weekends doing, preparing for out of a sports season. So it was pretty much unheard of back then. And Mr. Paulson used to always say, it's a cult. You have a cult going. But Coach Lee, she came along and she really pushed those girls. And my girls had her as a coach, and we were really a successful team. She became the head coach in '99, and we got our team to the state tournament. I was her assistant, and we got third place that state. So that pretty great memories that we have of that. And then 4 years ago, Linda Donnelly says, I'll coach track if you coach track. Well, okay. So it was a blonde moment for both of us. And, so we took on the track program, and we really didn't know what we were getting into. The learning curve was pretty steep for us, and she had run hurdles in college, so she had some track background. And I had coached in Mesabi just for a couple of years, but that was 30 years ago, so it had been a long time ago. So the two of us naively took it over, and we had mutiny from the boys the first year. We never coached with iPods and cell phones before, and we said, well, you can't have them. And so they walked out of practice. It was like, oh, okay. So, but Kurt gave us the name Thelma and Louise because we took the track program by storm. And, well, Laura, where's Thelma? There she is. Thank you for hanging in there. It's strong. We're trying to get it back to the tradition that it was. Mesabi had a strong track program, and Aurora White Lakes and now Mesabi East. So, we really want to get that tradition back. So, getting to the boards. I know I'm long-winded. I'm sorry. I got to get the last word in, right, Kurt? I have some awards to give. I love snow days, so all teachers do. And every time there's a little bit of snow or a threat of a snowstorm, I'm looking out the window and Kurt saying, they're having school tomorrow. Yeah, I know, but maybe we won't. And so Kyle gave me this, let it snow, I'm a teacher, and if Sue Bennett's here, they probably left her Duluth with the Sue here. She has to travel from Duluth every day on Highway 4. So you get this, let it snow, I'm a teacher. Craig Johnson here? Oh, I've got a rip on him. So, Craig, he's always, I break every computer I've had. And even Rolf, I have the first one you ever gave me, you just told me just keep it. So it's really cool. But I have a broken stopwatch that I didn't break, but it's going to Craig. And you won't have to fix another computer, you can hang it on the wall and say, oh, look at the time I'll save because I don't have to fix her computer. Okay, I have a couple of roses in here, kind of match my name. So I have, let me get them out of here. Disheveled like I am. So, for the two coaches that I worked with, I have a rose for Thelma that you keep in your office. So I'm like a thorn in your side. And Coach B, for your new room on the 3rd floor, or 2nd floor, whatever you are. And what else do I have? Oh, I have my sign, and grab it. This is going to my kids. Kyle's in the retail business, so he had this sign, "Welcome to Mrs. Angela's classroom." So now I have my grandson Cruz here, and Kyle's daughter is 2.5, and so my home will be my grandchildren's classroom. So this is going to. I'm almost done. So I know some of you watch the Blue Collar Comedy Tour with Bill Engvall, and there's a thing he does with, you know, if somebody's stupid, here's your sign. Well, as it came to me, I don't know, it's like, oh, that's what I'll do for it. How do you know if you're ready to retire? So there are signs. So I've had a lot of signs this year, so I'm going to read to you my sign. I've been teaching for 34 years. I've had my keys for 34 years, except this year I lost them. That's your sign. I gave more detention this year than I did in all 33 years. Maybe in 1 week. That's your sign. You need a bodyguard now to teach gym class? That's your sign. I had a 7th grader a few weeks ago said, "Oh, I'll miss you, Mrs. Angela." I was like, "Oh, no, you won't." And he goes, "Yeah, you're right." And then every day that Craig Johnson would see me in the hallway, he'd go, why are you still here? I don't know, so that's your sign. When your husband more than once a week calls you and said, "Rosie, you forgot something again," that's your sign. And then one of the good things, you start looking at bus tours in September during the week, that's your sign. And finally, when you have a loving family, grandchildren, a husband that want to spend more time with you, that's your sign.